Alrighty, you guys, welcome back to a brand new episode here on
The ankle.
Hey Amber.
Hello. Hi. Welcome to my shit show.
So, I hope everyone is having a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yes, you read that title correctly. Our girl, Gypsy Rose, meets up with Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian!
Of all people, honestly. I mean, if you're a longtime viewer of the channel, y'all know I don't necessarily care for the Kardashians. So, the fact that Kim wanted to go and meet her, like, flew out to Louisiana to meet her is crazy to me, dude. Crazy. Of course, it was all for Kim's show, and I find it peculiar, maybe a little ironic, that after we start to question Gypsy's like intent with chasing down this like fame it seems she's trying to get from this, of like just coincidentally then I see that she does an interview with Kim Kardashian, who, whether you like her or not, she is one of the biggest celebrities out there currently. So it's shocking to me, honestly. It really is. And hearing how she talks in this interview, it's a very brief interview, honestly, but I had to get it from this I'm a fan page on TikTok, so check them out if you want. They have a whole bunch of stuff. So I don't want to yap too much in this, because I have a feeling we're going to be talking a lot throughout it. So let's just jump right in, guys. Thank you so much once again, and let's just dive in.
Planted in Louisiana. I'm meeting with Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
Now, I have heard a lot of debation, in the words of Amber Lynn, over how to pronounce her last name. A lot of people think it's Blanchard, which I think that's how she pronounces it, so that's how you would assume. But there have been people coming out saying that, like, oh, well, they're from, like, Cajun or Creole South Louisiana, so it's probably more so like Blanchard or something like that. Just, you know, nitty-gritty stuff.
More interested.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard was just released from prison for being involved in the murder of her mother.
Being involved, as I think she had an active hand in it as well, but that's just me.
Story gained national attention after being sentenced.
We will, because the trial is on YouTube. You can go watch it. I have a feeling we're gonna peek in on that here in a little bit.
10 years for aiding in the murder of her abusive mother.
I'm going to send you a link. She's the most well-known person that's just gotten out of prison. Her mother had Munchausen by...
See, this feels like a bit of a opportunity grab on both Gypsy and Kim's part, which, like, I guess if you're thinking about it in the terms of money, I guess it's only beneficial for the both of them. But yeah, I don't know if it's really what Gypsy needs.
Roxy, who would shave her head and act like she had cancer her whole life.
What illnesses did your mom say that you...
Also, it just feels like they have to put in these clips for, like, information and whatnot, because the way Kim talks about it just seems so, not like super disrespectful, but I just don't think Kim can talk about anything seriously. I'm gonna be so for real.
Asthma, epilepsy, hearing impaired, vision impaired, fed with a feeding tube, paralyzed from the waist down.
How sick must you be as a mother that you would let your child have surgery for your own gain?
I mean, true, but also, like, if one of her kids had a unappealing feature growing up, she'd probably push them to correct it. So, I mean,
I think she really wants to get involved. She could be really impactful with like youth and abuse.
How long has she been out for?
I don't know if that's the voice you want, though. And something that I find interesting, Gypsy's going to talk about, like, actually needing prison reform and therapy in prison. I 1,000% agree with that. But she makes absolutely no mention if she's getting that therapy now. That she, you know, is saying there isn't available in prison to people who need it. which I understand that aspect. I don't understand if, okay, well, you were kept from getting this thing that you wanted and are fighting for. Why don't you go and get it now that you're out and you can? That's more so my thoughts behind it. But like I've said, maybe there's pieces that I'm missing. Maybe Gypsy is keeping her entire recovery off of the internet, in which case I would commend her more so for that. You know, I don't think she needs to come on and tell us what she's doing in therapy and this and that. No. I just want to know that she is getting the help that she needs. You know what I mean?
3 weeks. It's like a fascinating case.
Gypsy told Nicholas Godejean about the lifetime of abuse she endured. They came up with a plan to kill her mother, and Godejean was accused of stabbing her to death in their Missouri home.
It just doesn't that feel like a little manipulative? Like, I understand, you know, that like she lived a horrible life. Horrible. I'm not like, you know, justifying that by any means. And I'm not even saying that she's necessarily a bad person for doing what she did to her abuser. But, like, let's just call a spade a spade. I fully believe she manipulated that boy, who was very mentally ill, obviously.
She tweeted me, and here I am. So I was like, I'm super interested. I think she can help, but I'm fascinated. And I'll tell you how it goes after. I want to see what she wants to do in prison reform. I heard she wants to get in it, and I can guide her of, you know, exactly where to go and...
Yeah, I bet, Kim.
How she...
Kim does have a lot of connections, but, like, are you going to give her a therapist or something, dude? Like, you know...
And help.
She has a TV network behind her. She can pretty much get whatever resources she wants if she really wants to do it. I kind of more so have a feeling this was about Gypsy getting to continue that life that she got with her mom. Honestly, her and her mom were flown out here and there, given special trips, got to meet special people all of the time because of her quote-unquote sickness. So, could she just be continuing that cycle?
So I just landed. Hi,
And then, of course, we gotta go to another part.
Gypsy.
Hi!
And sorry, I am gonna be pausing a lot during this, okay? I don't want frickin' the Kardashians coming after me with a copyright strike. Are you kidding?
Hi, Gypsy.
Hi! So nice to meet you.
I'm so
I love
excited
your coat.
that
That
you...
is so beautiful.
I love how Gypsy just interrupts her.
Thank you that you live in New Orleans. It's one of my favorite places ever.
Oh, I'm happy
The
that you
food.
came. Yeah, the food is amazing.
What was the first meal you had when you got out?
When I got out, I got to try steak for the first time.
Imagine not trying steak till your 30s. Ooh, that's wild. I mean, some people go, like, vegetarian their whole lives, so I get it. But, like, I'm sure she thought about it.
Never had steak before, so yeah, it was actually pretty good.
Oh my...
Was that... I have a feeling that's after she got the new teeth, because ain't no way she was chewing with just her fronts. Steak?
Gosh, well, honestly, I've been following your case for a really long time.
Really?
So, like, I wouldn't want to come and, you know, really meet with someone.
I'm gonna be so for real with you, though. For how starstruck I believe Gypsy really is, she's holding it together pretty well. Not gonna lie. I have a feeling that they let them meet before, get all the excitement out, and then did a refilming kind of it, you know?
One that I feel like can make an impact just for, like, the sensation of the case.
Right.
I recognize that, like, you can make a big difference because you can really articulate what you went through.
Right.
And how you can get through it.
Well, right now, the only how you can get through it is kill your mom. Okay. Yikes. Because we don't know what therapy or, you know, reform she has actually done for herself to, you know, get herself out of that place. And she's going to talk a lot about how she's in such a better place now, this and that, but only talks about the physical place, not her emotional. And that's what's concerning for me. This girl has been through so much. so much. And I don't think that she needs to be labeled as a bad person. Do I think there are certain things we're not being told? Absolutely. Do I think she could take more accountability for certain things? Yes, absolutely. Especially now that, like, she paid her time for the crime. So any new information that were to come out, she can't be tried for it. So I guess that's more so my issues is we're just not getting any indication that her emotional well-being and future is also being thought about.
I give you massive kudos right now because I think
I'm sorry, the dead look on Kim's face like 99% of the time. Oh my God.
a lot of people are afraid of touching me as a topic.
Really?
Because I'm
Oh, Gypsy.
too controversial.
Yeah, I mean, ugh.
So I give
That doesn't mean anything nowadays, really. Like, why does she feel that way? Maybe because, like, got turned down for interviews or stuff? I don't know.
you like massive props for being like, okay, I'm gonna come do this right now. Like,
I give you massive props because I'm such, like, a hardened criminal. People are so scared of me. That's how it's coming off. Sorry, Gyps, but that's how it's coming off.
this is gonna happen.
When Gypsy posted that she wanted to get into reform work and wanted to connect,
See, I think this was, since Gypsy is the one that reached out first, I have a feeling it was more so kind of like, because she was fully prepared. If y'all didn't hear the Taylor Swift drama, she was planning on going and trying to meet Taylor Swift at one of the Eras tour in like Minnesota or Missouri, I think. And her parole officer called and said, no, you're not going to any big concert event. You need to leave the state. Oh my Lord. And she was just like freaking out, dude. So I don't know. I don't know. She seems to be going on a little bit of a campaign to like make herself, not make herself famous, but to maybe align herself with these famous people. And that's where I'm giving like a bit of the side eye, you know?
really wanted to guide her to use her platform to really help people.
This has been a
Okay. Well, I don't know as though Kim is necessarily the one to do that, seeing how her and her entire family have used their platforms to push unrealistic and unhealthy body standards. But that's just me.
roller coaster ride. I'm blessed to be given a second chance because when I was going through what I was going through, nobody ever talked about Munchausen by proxy. No one was ever a guiding light for me. You know, I look back on things that I could have done differently, and like the one thing that people always ask me is, why didn't you just stand up?
I mean, a little bit. I'm understanding as to her reasoning why, but I don't know. I feel like most people, if they are able to get out of that situation, it's hard, 1,000%. Like, you're going to be ripped from your life that you know. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense. But you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Why didn't you just
Call the police
Call
or-
the police and this, that, and the other.
And did you tell your dad?
I didn't because I didn't even know his phone number.
Yeah.
My mom literally had put a block on our relationship.
Hi, Gypsy.
See, that confuses me a bit because I could have sworn in like multiple documentaries about it that while yes, they were separated and they didn't really have a relationship, he still was able to like talk to her every now and then, I believe. Except there was a portion of time where he wasn't able to. I think that was during the whole Katrina debacle because their house was destroyed. They were homeless and they were flown out, and that's where they were moved into the pink house where the murder happened. The house that was built for them, by the way.
Hi.
And did you tell your dad?
I didn't because I didn't even know his phone number.
Yeah.
My mom
See, I believe that she didn't tell her dad anything. I believe that he had his own suspicions, but like when those started popping up more and more, then that's when Dee Dee got more and more distant. But she did have a bit of a relationship with her dad. I think more so before the severe abuse started, before Gypsy, I think, realized she actually wasn't sick.
Literally had put a block on our relationship from him and I. And she created a fake Facebook account as me talking to him. Now, looking back on it, I'm like, I could have done things a lot differently, and it would have ended with my mother being in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Did she deserve prison? Yes.
So I can imagine that you...
Okay, this might be a controversial take because I know her mom was a terrible person. Her mom deserved to get help, or deserved to try to be helped just as much as Gypsy does now. Just a hot take. Whether, I mean, I think, she should be in prison the rest of her life, but that doesn't mean that she can't get help from there, And I mean, I know Gypsy talks about needing prison reform for that, but it would be possible. It'd be a possibility, and also there might have been a very good chance that Dee Dee would have been found, medically insane. So they would have just thrown her into a psych ward anyways, where she would be around nurses, doctors, therapists, and all that.
Still really miss your mom.
Right.
You could
it's
feel...
so complicated.
It's so complicated.
It really is.
I love how Kim is trying to really understand, but obviously she can't.
There were times in prison that I would just sit on the bed. I'd play one of her favorite songs on my tablet, and I would
What was
just
one
cry.
of her favorite songs?
It was My by Rob Thomas. My mom was a huge Matchbox 20 fan.
I find that to be very interesting. I also find it very endearing how Gypsy still talks about certain memories of her mother in a very loving way. I can imagine it's extremely complicated, the relationship she has now with the memory of her mother. But it's good to see that she can still find the good in it, Because, listen, y'all, unless the woman was the big evil man that was over in Germany, I don't think she was entirely an evil person, I think she was extremely, extremely damaged. And that doesn't excuse anything at all. Dee Dee should have gotten help. But, how it is nowadays, the person themselves have to be the ones to want it. And if they don't see anything wrong with what they're doing and they're smart enough to not get caught, then what can you do,
Play some of their songs. And I'd just allow myself that time to cry and grieve. And sometimes I'd have to do it in the shower, too, because cry and grieve. And sometimes I'd have to do it...
Sorry, I don't know why it, skips there.
In the shower, too, because crying in prison, you're so vulnerable. Especially women, they can be...
Do we think Gypsy was going around trying to seem, all hard and whatnot in prison? I can only imagine how she was acting her first few weeks there, I mean, probably scared absolutely shitless. I would be. Are you kidding?
So catty. Their first go-to is, well, you killed her, so why are you crying about it? It's...
Well, also, they probably only heard, oh, she killed her mom. They probably don't know the real specifics to it, so...
Hard, coming from that was a child in this...
I'm sorry, Kim. Stop trying to relate.
situation, it is hard.
I can't even begin to even act like I understand what you've been through. I
Okay, true.
really have no idea,
That's the thing. Kim has absolutely zero relation to Gypsy's lifestyle in any type of way, other than Kim out of nowhere randomly started getting into prison reform and being a lawyer. I roll about all that. I think that's just dumb.
It's a long road, but
Yeah.
you're here.
Growing up, Kim never knew the life that Gypsy would have known. Even if all of that medical stuff would have happening, they were poor. Kim doesn't know what the hell that's like.
It's like a controversial subject. I think when people want to help people that were involved in something so violent, but I do believe people should have second chances in life. And I
Does that also extend to her mother?
take her entire background into consideration. It's really crazy not to.
I think you can really make such an impact on young
people that might not know how to get out. I've seen people not as horrific as situations that you've been in, but I've heard amazing, triumphant stories of people that have like lived such an amazing life once they got out of their situation.
Right. What I'm left with now is, you know, I did my 8.5 years in prison.
Which, to be honest, the guy is serving life. He's in there for life, okay? And he's in prison, so if the mental health care there isn't up to par, then he's not in the right place. He's extremely mentally ill, you guys. Extremely. Like, he should be in a psych ward.
So I paid my dues to the state. Now let's see what I can do with my new life and my second chance. Can I at least get that?
And you...
I mean, yes, Gypsy, yes. You 1,000% can. But it's going to require work still, you know? Those 8.5 years, that was just for the state. Now you have to give yourself time.
are so strong.
Thank you. I appreciate
you know,
that.
and I recognize that.
That fed something in her.
And a lot of people do.
Thank you. I'm doing my best to try to make my family proud. You know, there's like an internal battle going on inside because it's like I know that I did something wrong. I paid my consequences.
Yes, but I think the way she's phrasing it makes it seem as like she just wants to move on and forget about it. But that's going to be absolutely impossible unless she gets help.
But I feel like half of everybody still wants to condemn me, and the other half is rooting.
Well, some people might not think you've been held accountable enough, which that's their opinion to have.
For me. Because I post a selfie, and then I'm expected to have this like greater message behind it. And I'm like, I'm just having fun.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to
Well, you also don't need to have a public platform.
like post and I say and then ghost. And then like
Post
not
and ghost.
post
I
and
like
ghost
that.
and not like pay attention
Okay.
to all the comments and what's being said because
Is Gypsy really needing to be told this, though? Like, I feel like anyone that goes into social media, especially if once or if they get a large following, you kind of know to not take the comments seriously.
not everything has to be such a deep message. I think the
Exactly.
way you live your life is moving forward is the deep message.
Okay.
And that's what I was like so excited to talk to you about because you've been through hell and back.
This is what upsets me so much is you know everything that I have been through, okay? When I got to prison, I asked them if I could get therapy and really deal with the trauma that I went through. I received a notice that I didn't qualify for one-on-one therapy.
Wow.
Damn. So, see, it is available, but it obviously is very hard to get. That's really unfortunate because obviously she needs it. I think it's probably because she didn't have any diagnosed, like real solid diagnosed mental disorders or, you know, illnesses of any kind. That's probably why, which isn't fair. Like, she should have been getting help.
You would think that they would want to set you up and give you all of the tools that you would need to be as mentally stable and
Right.
to be as healed as possible, to come home into society.
1,000%. I 1,000% agree with that. But she also, now that she is out, she very easily can get that help for herself if she truly wants it, you know?
Why wouldn't they set up all of these programs? It always blows my mind. Just the simple fact that she couldn't get therapy while she was in prison is a problem, you know, and I think that ultimately we want to...
Did we switch? When did it go to glossed back, slicked hair, Kim? Even in the other, like, confessional videos, was it always that? Maybe I'm bugging. I still don't feel well, guys.
bring people home that are rehabilitated. And how can we do that if it doesn't start with giving them the tools and having them go through therapy before they get home?
1,000%.
How has reentry been?
Reentry's been a whirlwind for me.
Yeah.
Whirlwind? Oh, Gyps.
Unfortunately, we are living at a residence. and they're pressuring us to put me on the lease, and I won't pass a background check.
Is that required? Do you have to be able to pass a background check? I don't know. I feel like it could come down to like specific cases, but I don't know. I
think it's like the system is just it's built to fail.
It really is.
I want to bring awareness. I want to be the person that I wish I had.
Well, if we want to look at like a larger picture of it, and I understand if not everyone, recognizes this as the case, but let's look at which group of people the prison industrial complex seems to affect the most in this country. And let's think about the higher up people and what group they belong to, if you know where I'm getting at. Why would that one specific group in power actually want the slave class, if we want to talk about it logistically? Modern prison in this country is modern day slavery, okay? They make like 70 or so % of the government's products for pennies an hour, dude. Okay, it's literal slave labor. Fight me on it, I don't care. That's my perspective. So why would they be incentivized to actually get these people help? They want the reoccurring violence, the reoccurring incarcerations. They want people to not get better. They need these for-profit prisons to stay open.
Had to guide me, but I feel very new at it. So I kind of feel like, what are my
And like,
resources?
where do you go and how do you?
Yes,
Where,
like where do you begin?
I can totally help you with that because I had no clue.
Girl, you better guide her towards a therapist.
And I think I figured out the best team that can possibly help people. And I'm happy to introduce you to all of them.
Oh, I would appreciate that.
Will guide you.
I hope they're talking in terms of actual therapy. If so, then good on Kim for extending those resources. Because Kim 1,000% has needed therapy in the past. She's talked about it. And I think she deserves to have it as well. She herself has been through some extremely hard things that would be difficult for your average person to be able to kind of cope and go through. But to add the layer of fame and all of these eyes on you dealing with it, that's a whole other, ball game.
You in the right direction and what to do to help.
Okay.
I think she's like a perfect person to talk to, like a younger generation. So
Yeah, if we can talk more about the actual help, then sure.
hopefully with her help, we can try to bring therapy into more.
Sorry to interrupt, Kim. But because right now, all we keep hearing is reiterations of her story. And I get it. But let's move on from that, let's grow. Let's learn from it, I guess. I don't know.
Prisons and try to change the way that the system operates.
I think that you have such an important future to help so many people.
I hope that I do.
I hope that Gypsy just follows her heart. I hope she heals first and foremost. And I hope that she just follows her path of wanting to help other people.
Thank you so much.
Well, she's got to help herself first, especially now with the child on the way.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Alrighty, you guys. Well, that is the video. Thank you so much for tuning on in. Hope it wasn't too yappy for you, but let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for viewing, guys. I truly do appreciate you. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Like and subscribe. Become my channel member. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.